Hi, I'm Justin Janetzko. I'm a former educator and chaplain for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and now mostly interested in aspects of humanism.
Hi, I'm Chris Babianco. I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist community and enjoy challenging myself and growing through conversations.
Welcome to the Talus Slopes podcast.
If you're questioning the legitimacy of your Christian experience, you're not alone. We've been there too.
That's why we're here. We're going to call out and condemn the toxic behavior and senseless narratives perpetuated by Christians, and we'll provide credible counterpoints and bring the receipts.
Join us as we confront and weigh in on some of the craziest things Christians think, say, and do that often go unchecked.
Here on the Talus Slopes podcast. Hello, my friends.
Hello.
Oh, what? Who is that? Chris? That's not Chris.
So corny, bro.
Oh my goodness, that's Izzy again. What's up, Izzy?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Blessed, grateful, aligned, and here.
Aligned in here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like I'm my own chiropractor.
Who is that?
Me.
Oh, dang.
The universe.
Must be nice. The universe?
Spirit.
The universe has cracked my spine too, but in a different way.
Yeah.
But I'm doing okay. We're here once again. And you know what? We're going to actually get to the video today.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're here once again to break down Ted Wilson and the Seventh-day Adventist Church's bold Izzy. Bold stand on human sexuality. If you have not watched this video yet, I recommend that you do it now.
Bold.
What was that?
It depends on how you define bold.
Well, I think we're going to get more to that today, but I'm going to provide in the show notes the link for this video. I would recommend taking a look at this first before you listen to the rest of this podcast. But you know what?
We'll give you a good little cliff notes.
We will. You do you. I mean, we're going to play all of it again, but it may be helpful for you to already know what the overall message is exactly for this as we're breaking it down. Again, may be helpful, but you get to decide at the end of the day. But we got that. Do we want to talk about your paper?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to check out Welcome to Church, which is my rhetorical criticism on Hozier's single Take Me to Church, you can check that out in the show notes as well. It really talks about the paradox of the church in relation to the Q plus community, and how it kind of like shines a light on just the larger paradox of what the church is like preaching versus what it stands for versus what it actually does in action. So that helps with some context as well. You could check that out. I wrote that almost like 10 years ago.
It's been a while.
Probably less than 10 years ago, but like I was still in college when I wrote that. So it still rings true till this day. So check it out.
Some things have changed.
It still rings true, 100%.
Some things have not, yeah.
I was like 100. No, nothing has changed from what was said in that paper till now. That's why I'm excited to have this conversation.
Because I read the paper right when you sent it to me. I was like, I dropped everything, and I'm just kidding, I didn't. I actually forgot about it. We were talking about that right before we...
Just like them church folk.
Oh, Izzy! Come on now. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Shall we get into it?
Let's get it.
I'm just going to hold this up to the microphone here because I don't have my third input hooked up. All right.
Greetings, friends. As we have been going through the book, The Great Controversy, we have seen how...
All right, we're going to pause it right there. We're never going to make it through this video. This video is like almost 13 minutes long.
You were the hopeful one.
I am hopeful. Nah, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to make it through.
I believe in you. But we have to stop here because, like, just he's trying to set the stage and he's already using exclusive, vocabulary.
Yeah. So that's Ted Wilson. Again, he's the president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is the faith tradition that Izzy and I, and Chris as well, come from.
Grew up and was born into.
Yeah, and I think, and we mentioned this last episode, that however, this speaks, I think, for most, if not all, of conservative Christianity. I don't see any conservative Christians out there in any other denominations or churches saying anything any different than this guy, except for maybe this one thing, and that's the great controversy. He's mentioning how they're working their way through the great controversy, the gay controversy, that too, the great controversy. And if you don't know what that is, which I don't expect too many listeners to actually know what the great controversy is.
I mean, not beyond the words of like the great conflict and like just thinking about like, oh, there was a kerfuffle that was great, but not like in depth as to how the Adventist Church recognizes those words.
Yeah. So have you read the great controversy before, Izzy?
I have not.
You have not, really?
Nope.
Interesting. I have. I've had it read to me, and I read it through myself, and I was thinking of how to explain this book or describe it, and I just Googled it. It's actually funny. I Googled Great Controversy book, and the first thing that popped up was the Wikipedia's entry, which basically says, in the book, Ellen White, well, that's a whole other story. We're not going to get into that.
I was hoping, could we have this conversation without mentioning Ellen White?
Well, she's the author. That's a whole other thing. I'm not even going to touch that right now. But the author of The Great Controversy, Ellen White, describes the Great Controversy theme between Jesus Christ and Satan as played out over the millennia from its start in heaven to its final end, which would be in the future, when the remnant who are faithful to God will be taken to heaven at the second advent of Christ, and the world is destroyed. Oh, and then recreated. Excellent. But it's basically just like it's the battle between God and Satan for us as human beings, and what's that has looked like in the past and what it will look like in the future. Yes, you heard me correct.
Did you read Steps to Christ?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I almost read Steps to Christ.
Several
I got
times.
like the cool teen one.
Yeah.
And that made me even almost read it more. Mm-hmm. Never did, though.
Yeah, that's another book by
Ellen White.
Yep. Again, for another time.
Ellen White.
But just so we're all clear, Ted Wilson has been leading all these Adventist Christians, and I guess whoever else wants to hop on the YouTube channel and check it out, but he's been leading them out and reading kind of like the book and
excerpts.
Then talking about it, for a while now. And this video, again, this came out in November of 23. He's going to now draw together the conversation of human sexuality with what's going on in the great controversy.
And he's basically just trying to be like, if again, setting the stage, right?
Yeah.
But he's basically trying to say, this is epic.
That's right. So I rewound it just a touch here.
Greetings, friends. As we have been going through the book, The Great Controversy, we have seen how there have been people down through the ages who were faithful to God and His Word. We've also read about the reformers who stood for God's truth, sometimes at the cost of their own lives. All
right, we'll stop it there again.
I think that's probably like the most like Morgan Freeman he sounded through for the whole video. Like he was eloquent right at that point. He said, at the cost of their own lives.
Yeah.
Like he definitely was trying to like.
Well, he wants to send that message home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not because that's what happened to the reformers in the past.
He's trying to be like trying to attach it to now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there ability to connect what the Adventist Church is going through in terms of the conflicts with the Q+ community with what the reformers were experiencing?
You've got these men, these individuals throughout history that looked at the status quo of the Catholic Church and they said, this is wrong. Mm-hmm. What they are doing is biblically wrong. It's morally wrong. And I think that, Ted Wilson in this video, as he appeals to the reformers as the ones that must be looked to as essentially heroes for their bold stand. And then he even says they even died, some of them. They died.
Yes.
Doesn't get any more bold than dying for what you believe in, but he's really trying to kind of poke at those sensibilities, because again, like for someone who was Adventist for like the entirety of my life,
right,
I knew about the Reformers and I knew about the stuff that they went through. I knew about the persecution that they suffered and that they endured. I knew that the church hated them because of their messages. And so now when I hear Ted Wilson using this, but he's weaponizing it to me in a way it's almost like backwards, right?
Yeah. I think it is, in the sense that all I've been thinking about is the title. He takes a bold stand is it against or towards statement, something about
taking a bold stand on human sexuality.
Bold stand on human sexuality. Stage set with the Reformers, who at some points had to sacrifice their lives for the cause. Their cause is now being associated with the current cause, and the current cause is a stand on human sexuality.
Yeah.
That is the current conflict at hand that is so serious that lives are at stake. And
potentially,
I don't know if it's the same sense of martyrdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's equated to what was being stood for, or how they're being persecuted. Ted Wilson has signed up to be held accountable for the words that he says. Ted Wilson is not Ted Wilson off the like he is Ted Wilson at all times. He doesn't get to be, I don't know what's the long version of Teddy at
Theodore.
Home. Theodore. Okay. Like
Theodore
there's
Wilson.
no Theodore and Teddy or Ted. There's only Ted Wilson because he's a public figure, right? So the words that he says are very calculated because he has to stand on those as what he believes.
Yeah.
Because that is what he believes is 100% why he's in that seat. Like the whole church is following what he believes is the right direction of the church. You feel me?
Yeah. Are you talking theologically speaking?
I'm talking about, I'm talking theologically
speaking. Pragmatically speaking.
I'm talking theologically in the sense of like, I'm not trying to zoom it, way out, but like theologically speaking, in terms of the God that Ted Wilson believes in, that is guiding his thoughts and principles and his belief system, right? That's his belief in God and that whole makeup. Like that is what he believes. And the reason why I say that is because like God directs how your money comes. God directs how you live your life, how you get revenue, how you're profitable, how you're seen, right? So like in the moment where he has to speak as the president of the conference, because that's his job.
Yeah.
But his job is to speak on what he believes. That means that's what he believes, because it's whether he believes it to make the money, or if he believes it, you know what I'm saying, as the God that, will save him from death when he's sick, and money don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either way, that's what he believes, and that's why he's saying it. He's trying to use the cop out of the Bible. That's why he keeps on pointing, or either at great controversy or the Bible. It's just like, just the words are the words, so follow them.
He's going to say later they're the plain words. They're not even, you can't even misinterpret these. They're plain.
And that's the cop out. That's how he's now trying to, as you're saying, you don't know if he truly believes that. He's trying as best as he can to stay surface level and just appease the people and just like point at the Bible, almost how people will say like, studies have shown, and they'll say whatever they want to say. And like, I've done research. Forbes, let me tell you this, Forbes website writes articles that have substandard research backing them. It could be, when they say 70% of consumers, based on study, and then you hyperlink to the study. The study is like on like 5 people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Not all studies are created equal.
So simply said, Ted Wilson continually claims to back his statements with the Bible, but not once does he turn a page or
Bro, he doesn't
actually.
have to. It's in his head.
It's all in his head.
It's on the teleprompter.
That's true. So I'm not going to hold him accountable for not turning the pages of he could use an iPad.
No, but that's metaphorically.
He's staying surface level though.
Yeah,
he's just staying super surface level, like trying to appease his donors and appease the people who are like actually funding, his school of thought, who agreed in the comment section, right? They pulled up in the comment section, like he's just trying to appease them by claiming these, doing the smoke and mirrors of scriptures to really make a claim about the church's stance on human sexuality that is really not well founded.
Yeah, as you were saying that, and I mentioned like it's a metaphor, but it is really reflective of that whole attitude and approach to reading scriptures. Like, I don't actually have to turn the pages. Why would I need to turn the pages? To me, I see that as I don't actually have to read or research any of this stuff. Why would I have to? The words are plain. It's very simple. And the issue with that is you and I both know he doesn't actually believe that.
Correct.
I know Ted Wilson is a smart individual. He's got intelligence. There is no way that I think that he can be saying these things and fully believe them.
It's really hard to be in a role that is adverse to change, because it forces you to continue doing something after it no longer makes sense. And that makes you, it can drive one crazy and make you become delusional. It can make the person delusional in terms of like switching their brain on and off to just get by. And so if it is a situation where Ted Wilson doesn't actually believe those things, because unfortunately the Bible is often actually simplistic and not able to address complex issues with the exact literal words that were written, because they were not they were just not evolved for the times. And he has to still stick with that because they don't want to like evolve the Bible into, to address the new complexities of time. So he is forced to delusionally make absolutist claims when he knows that it's more of a sliding scale in terms of how, it's, really things are, it's more nuanced, right?
Right. And that point is going to be proven over and over and over again as this video continues, because he says things that I know nobody believes.
Right.
Outside of reading the Bible grammatically, quote unquote, clearly. You're right. Like, there's no nuance to be had here. It is really that masculine urge or whatever to take the Bible at face value, because it does bolster your privilege.
Absolutely. For example, like I know there's opportunities to just like, share, personal experiences and things like that. Like, in terms of just the larger conversation as to where the church is and the stances that it's taking, at least the conservative majority of the church. And I remember being in conversations where it was like this, it was a luncheon at my brother's house, potluck actually, at my brother's house with this church that we attend out here. And it transitioned to conversations about like, how can we actively be the change, in our community and reach, really make a difference. Because again, at the end of the day, my brother was asking, because he's on the board, and they're like, how can we move the needle? Let's be real. How can we move the needle? and they're asking the young adults, how do we do that? And, it really came to this, venting session of like, well, no one's ready to do the work. The people are out there, but, everybody is always, there's this whole thing where it's like everybody is always griping over, there's venting just happens. So everyone starts venting. Okay, so venting commences. Venting commences, and I'm just like listening, and I'm like, the challenge is from my lens is from the why is because we are so caught up thinking that we're so different, and so and thinking that, for example, we don't have doubts. Mm-hmm. And pretending as if like we are the chosen ones that just have it all figured out,
which every Christian group thinks of themselves.
Well, and that's like if there is a problem, the problem is that we are spending so much time trying to be different for whatever reason, and like we're literally all losing the grounds on the things that make us different. Like the things that make us different continue to fall apart, but we're still trying to hold on to this this difference, and that's where we keep spinning our wheels. But the reason why I'm saying that is because like they're like, oh yeah, we need to help those people who feel different, and they're like, oh, we need to help them understand better. I'm like, okay, y'all don't get it. Like, let's bring it. I love to do this. I'm like, let me bring it closer. Like, I have doubts. We're not talking about anyone else outside. Like, because they're always like, they're out there. We need to reach them out there. Right. In here, we're safe. Like, we're good. But I'm like, no, in here, me in this room,
it's crazy
has doubts. And they're like, doubts about what? I'm like, as to why God is 3 male people all at the same time.
And somehow not.
And also not. But then like...
But you can't understand it with your basic human mind. You just have to trust.
But then why... Like, where is the female character? If it's supposed to be that every man... You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you...
yeah, man. I don't know.
If it's supposed to be, like Ted Wilson is saying, a male and female...
Yeah, I don't know,
relationship,
man.
How can we be descendants of a singular, source that's also 3 things? Okay, but hold on.
What I'm hearing you say is that 3 guys got together and made humanity.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Ooh. Based on the Bible.
Based on the Bible.
At the same time, but also the fact that when I shared these things in that moment, because again, like people, it's so weird. Like people want to vent, but they don't want to talk about anything for real. So like, I'm like, oh, let's not talk about people's doubts. Let's talk about a real situation, which is me having, and I'm like, that's just one thing. I'm just pointing out one. There are many others that are like that. For example, the stories of the Bible. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe in like miracles. Like someone, I do not believe that somebody was swallowed by a fish, lived in it for 3 days, and then was spit up onto shore like it was a freaking Uber. I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, that's
literally all
happen.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
all I'm saying, and it's not like a thing to argue. I'm literally just telling you fact, like data drivenly. My brain does not believe that those stories don't make sense to me, and I was just telling him that's 2. So that's the other doubt, right? It's just like that the stories weren't real. And then in that group, guess what the feedback I received from that group? The one was pray more.
I was gonna say
pray more. I should be. Someone said God is the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Well, so there you go. I mean, you're clearly wrong.
God never changes, so you just need to get it together.
It's your fault, yeah.
And then the last one
never mind evidence or proof or anything like that.
The last one, you said it right now, which I was just read the scriptures, just read the facts. It's there. They said, and check the archaeological digs. Those 2 things you'll like trust and believe, and like they were, and guess what? While they were saying those things, what could I notice of everybody shaking in their boots, ready to leave after that conversation? Mm-hmm. They left. They literally left. They're like,
"It's over."
I don't. Over. This is a little bit too real for me.
Didn't sign up for that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm just saying that, to bring about like there's like an insecurity around the absolutism that you have to stand by to believe in the Bible. And anytime that's challenged, it's like defended with this like fear of like, don't unravel my yarn ball, please. Like, do not just believe it or leave.
Yeah, not good for business. Not good for business at all. All right. Hey, we actually made it to the video today.
We did.
I'm pretty excited about that, and I think we knocked out a few good points. We're going to wrap it for today. I hope that was meaningful to you all. I think that there's a lot more to this conversation. We're going to get into some of the very specifics of what he's going to offer, what Ted Wilson's going to offer as proof. Yeah, I think it's, maybe evidence. He's going to call it proof. He's going to call it fact,
right?
From the scripture. So that's a.
See, I'm already out. You might have to have someone else on that episode.
Well, Chris will be back.
Okay,
yeah, but I mean, hey, stay tuned because the only thing I have on my heart in regards to this video is just say, well, hold on a second. There's some problems with what you're saying, so let's not get too carried away by liking and subscribing and all that kind of stuff and giving gushing comments. Let's think critically about this if you want, or you can, and like. In the case of your story, pack up your stuff and leave.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be as real as possible with this content. We appreciate you all listening. Izzy, anything else you want to say before we get out of here today?
Read Welcome to Church, because I would love to get your feedback on that. With the present situations, with the context of when that was written, I think it's going to really be eye-opening. So please check it out. Drop some comments.
Hey, where can they find you?
Where can they find me?
Yeah, on the internets.
You can find me on Instagram.
Yo,
I go by Rafiki. That's RA.FEKE. Rafiki just means friend in Swahili, so I just try to embody the concept of friendship and what that means in community. So yeah, I'm there, and then music everywhere. Music everywhere. Rafiki, I guess, is the easiest one to find my currently streaming content, and either that or you can find me at the library working.
Yes,
those
indeed.
places.
I've seen it before. It's
or
true.
On a stage playing music.
He tells no lies.
Or in a house cooking.
In a house. I'm not gonna post your address, dude.
Oh, do not. Don't see. Yeah.
People don't need that.
Bless.